Welcome to Action Talks.
Nowadays the youth is very progressive. They have lots of ideas on social and economic development, social change. And I feel like it is imperative for the youth to vote because we're very diverse. We're not like the older generation. And I think if we invest our time into voting, we would challenge, because I feel like in our political system, even Namibian political system, our political parties are not really challenged. Because also we have ideas that not only benefit ourselves, but ideas that benefit a greater good. Whereas I feel like the older generation is fixated on a thing of they want to maintain whatever status they have for themselves and not really for everybody else in the country.
Generally, I think the youth should vote because as we go into the future, it's the youth that is going to be our leaders. It's the youth that's going to be the middle-aged people and the elders. So if it's the elders that are leading us, they don't necessarily know what the youth advocates for and what they want in their future. And they're accustomed to these old standards, and maybe they're what they want for the country is a little bit outdated, and they're still trying to put those outdated policies into implementation when actually they're supposed to be implementing things that would be beneficial for us in the future. So if they vote, their voice is represented, and they'll get more progress that way as compared to old people voting.
As an individual, it is very important to know who your leaders are. Like in my case, I don't know the names of my ministers that are leading me. And secondly, different parties have their slogan that they run for, right? And as we know, the youth, this is the biggest group in Namibia.
We as the youth, we are that change, and we are constantly always on social media complaining about how things are going wrong in our own country, and yet we have the voice to change that, but we are being suppressed, not by our leaders like we say, but we are suppressing ourselves simply because we don't want to vote. 65% of Namibia is made up of the youth. That is like a very huge number, and if we vote, then we're going to make such a huge difference. I think this is why the youth should vote, because we are the voice of reason, we are the voice of change, and we are the future. We're constantly evolving. Unlike our older leaders, they believe in a certain system because they're set in their ways.
When the political parties are campaigning to let the people know what they are standing for, in this way, for those that are even offline and online are going to, have a chance to associate themselves with a certain idea of a certain political party.
The youth, we're not very interested in thing of I'm supposed to vote for a certain political party because I was born into this political party, because my parents have grown up into this political party. I want to vote because I have read this certain political party's manifesto and I'm interested in whatever is in it.
Okay, I definitely don't think there's enough information or enough access to information out there in the public domain.
Enough information is not put out there for us to decide why and what we're supposed to vote for. There's a perception of whether you vote or not, nothing is really changing. So what's the point of me voting anyway?
This is a body that is not just supposed to become active when elections are close. They are supposed to be actively informing not the general public about the changes that were made throughout the years, or the changes that they want to do about the elections, the type of candidates, and how you can maybe form your own political party if you want to, but they're not doing any of these things.
I feel ECN comes up 2 months, 3 months, 6 months before you're going to the polling station, and they're very loud and they update their websites and their flyers all over town, but they should be very active throughout the year.
all we have been hearing since I was born is about what happened in the past, who was fighting, and so forth. So basically, to the little information I know about political parties, I cannot relate. And currently I'm 22 years old. So for 22 years of my life, no party was able to convince me to vote for them, unfortunately.
If you ask every Namibian, a lot of us don't see the point of having a different government. Because also we have the fear of what's going to happen if a different government comes into play, you know? Because we have so many stories of African countries, different governments failing, or people pushing out the governments and bringing in government, and total destruction comes upon us. Namibians are not thrusty. We don't force things. We just take it as it is and we accept it. And I think that's why the political parties don't even feel the need to appeal to a lot of us.